Make a video talking about what maps you'd like to see added to Battlefront 2. That is a comment I saw a lot on the last speculation video, so today I am bringing you 40 potential maps I would like to see in Star Wars Battlefront 2. This is the series where I come up with a lot of ideas and you guys come up with a lot of ideas as well, and we combine them together to make some over-the-top speculation videos. Remember, nothing I talk about in these types of videos is confirmed, but anyway, as far as the maps go in today's video, we have 17 for the prequel trilogy, 17 for the original trilogy, and then 6 for the sequels. This is mainly due to the prequels and the originals just having many more options as it stands. So let's start off with the prequels on Coruscant. We have the Jedi Temple, which is my personal favourite map on this entire list. Then we have the Coruscant Underworld, the Senate Chamber, which could be combined with Palpatine's office, that could potentially work. Then I do have a space battle map, which is the Battle of Coruscant from the start of episode 3. I think it would be a big mistake to miss out this if Coruscant was introduced to Battlefront 2. Moving on to Geonosis, we've got the Geonosis Arena. I don't think you can have Geonosis without its most iconic location, which is the arena. Then we have the likes of the Geonosis Droid Factory, the Geonosis Plains, which is where the first Battle of the Clone Wars takes place, and the Geonosis Hangar, where Obi-Wan and Anakin and also Yoda later on take on Count Dooku. So the next 3 planets I've got here I don't have map names for, I'm just not too sure what they could be. But firstly we've got Utapau, which we're hoping will come alongside Obi-Wan and Grievous later down the line. That would be a great map to have. Then Umbara, which is the only Clone Wars series exclusive map on this entire list. So many of you in my streams want to see this added to the game, it's unbelievable. And then finally Mustafar. This will appear later on the list as well with a different map, but for this one I want a Clone Wars era map, maybe where all the Separatist leaders are told to go by General Grievous in episode 3, that would be very nice. Now moving on to Naboo, and a lot of you will say this first Naboo map you can't include on this list because it's already in the game, but I'm going to anyway and I'll explain why, and that is the Naboo Power Sector map. Now I know this map is currently available to play the likes of heroes versus villains on in the game, however half of the map is in the Outer Bounds area and incomplete. For example, the platforms where Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon take on Darth Maul, a lot of them are out of bounds, and if you fall onto them you'll just die. And then the laser beam part of the map as well is out of bounds completely, you can't go anywhere near that. I would go as far to say as well the main part of this map where Darth Maul gets cut in half in episode 1 and he falls down the big hole, that is out of bounds, you can't go anywhere near that, and hopefully when they have private matches in the future, if anyone wants to create cinematics from that battle from episode 1, they won't be able to do it if this remains out of bounds and incomplete. I had a lot to say about that map, I know, but I do think this should be completed. Let me know in the comments section if you agree or disagree with that. Moving on to some more Naboo maps, we've got the Naboo Plain Fields where the droids take on the Gungans at the end of the Phantom Menace. We move on to the Naboo Forest where Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon first meet everyone's favourite Star Wars character Jar Jar Binks. Then we have the Battle of Naboo as a space map from the end of episode 1. This would be a nice way to get the M1 starfighters that are currently in the game into space as well. The final 2 maps for the prequel part of this episode are Ota Gunga, most commonly known as Gungan City. I don't think you'd be able to go into the water, but you can go into the facility itself under the water. And then we have a Tatooine pod racing map. Not gonna happen, I know, but I had to add it to this list. So many of you asked for it in this video, and come on, who doesn't want a pod racing map? Moving on to the original trilogy, I said we'd be going back to Mustafar earlier in the episode, and that's what we're doing. We've got Darth Vader's castle. Probably my second most wanted map on this list behind the Jedi Temple. It was such a great location to see in Rogue One, but we didn't see enough of it, and it's a great way to explore more of it in Battlefront 2. We then have something that could be really interesting, which is a Tantive 4 map, the rebel ship from the start of episode 4. You could fight in that battle between the rebels and the Empire when Darth Vader is trying to retrieve the Death Star plans. I'd be open for some space combat on this map as well, it would suit it very well. Now we've got Bespin, and arguably the DLC everyone liked most from the last game. I think it's only right that a lot of the maps return. So we could have the Bespin platforms, Cloud City and the Carbon Freezing Chamber, also the Bionic Laboratories I would be fine with as well. Seeing those 4 return would be really nice. Then something I just can't understand, we have the Death Star 2 in Battlefront 2 but no Emperor's Throne Room. Let's get the Emperor's Throne Room into the game. Also, a Death Star 2 space battle would be nice as well, where you can blow it up as the rebels and try and defend it as the Empire. Sullust would be nice to see as well. We could have the Sorosub Refinery and Pipelines map combined into one. I think that would work well instead of having 2 separate ones. and Sorosub Centerplex from the last game would be a nice addition. More maps from the last game include Dune Sea Exchange from Tatooine, and Jabba's Palace and the Sail Barge Garage may be combined into one. Scarif was a planet a lot of us liked in the last game as well. The problem with it was a lot of the maps felt the same. So why don't we do this? Have the Citadel Tower, the big tower from Rogue One. Everyone wanted to see it in the game and we never got it. I'd love to see that. And then take the beaches and jungles map and combine them into one. A Battle of Scarif space map wouldn't go amiss as well. And sticking with Rogue One content, what about Saw Gerrera's castle on Jeddah and Jeddah City to finish the original trilogy off? It is harder than you think to come up with sequel maps for this game. However, I've got 6 for you here today, starting off with Niima Outpost. This is where Rey delivers the scavenged parts to Unkar Plutt in The Force Awakens. Moving on to the Jacky Village, which just like in The Force Awakens could be getting burnt and destroyed. That would make for a really interesting game environment. We obviously have a Dakar space map, which is the home of the Resistance's base. However, a Dakar Rebel base ground map wouldn't go amiss as well. As far as design goes, the casino on Canto Bight looked incredible in The Last Jedi, so I'd love to see that in the game, alongside the Battle of Starkiller Base as a space map from the end of The Force Awakens. The final map on this list is Act 2, obviously the map where Luke goes into exile. The island Luke lives on isn't very big, so maybe this would just work as a blast map, something like that, but it would still be a fine addition to the game. But that is it everyone, 40 potential maps we could see in Battlefront 2. I love doing these videos looking at the endless possibilities of content that could be added to this game. Let me know what you'd like me to cover in this series next. Thank you for watching and I'll see you all next time.